We've all heard of the paintings that are worth millions of dollars despite them looking like anyone could have made them. The art world is filled with mysteries and secrets, which makes it a perfect place for investments and shady business like money laundering and tax avoidance. So how do they do it? How does it work? And most importantly, why does it work so well? First of all, what is money laundering? Money laundering is a process where you turn illegally obtained money, often referred to as dirty money, into legitimate or clean money that can then be used normally without raising any suspicions. It's essentially a series of transactions and activities designed to obscure the origins of money, making it difficult for law enforcement and authorities to trace back to its illegal source. So why is art so good for money laundering? It all comes down to the art market. You see, the art market is a very small consolidated market, despite what you might think. In 2022, the global art trade generated $67.8 billion, which might sound like a lot, but this number is tiny in comparison to other global markets. Take the coffee market, for example, which had a revenue of $83.1 billion, and there are countless companies that have much higher revenue numbers than the whole global art market that you haven't even heard of. In 2022, Archer Daniels Midland had a revenue of $98.7 billion, Fortum a revenue of $147.2 billion, and Glencore with $203.7 billion, over 3 times the revenue of the art market. Not only is the art market small, but it's very concentrated. Around 80% of the global art sales in 2022 by value took place in only 3 countries: the US, the UK, and China. And what's crazier is that the US accounts for 45% of the global market, so almost half of global art sales by value in 2022 took place in one country. But why is this important? Well, a small and consolidated market means that it's very susceptible to corruption and exploitation, which is perfect for market manipulation and shady business. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do not use this as advice. Now, back to the video. So, the art market would be a perfect market for manipulation and exploitation. But how do you get into it? Where do you buy the art? As we know, the art market is very concentrated, and so there are very few dealers and auction houses where the art gets sold. The 2 biggest auction houses being Christie's and Sotheby's. And that's exactly where you should buy the art, because they have the most power in the art world. The art they promote and display are chosen by them, and because of their power, they can influence and set the prices for the pieces of art, essentially handpicking which artists become famous and successful. So now that the art is bought, what do? Well, you could hang it up in your house. You'd have to pay sales tax, which is not ideal, especially if you see this as an investment. Instead, what you can do is store it in what's called a free port. A free port is a warehouse in which you can store goods without them having to enter the customs territory. This is because in theory, goods stored in free ports are in transit and therefore are exempt from any taxes and duties. But this transit period could technically last forever, which makes free ports really convenient tax-free storages. It's then no surprise that a lot of these free ports, like the Geneva free port, house expensive art pieces. Actually, the Geneva Freeport is not only the oldest and biggest Freeport facility, but also has the most artworks with an estimated value of $100 billion. But the benefits don't end there. Freeports also help with secrecy. They allow transactions to be made without attracting the attention of regulators or tax authorities. And the values of the goods are generally self-declared and in most cases are not checked. In short, it's perfect for avoiding taxes or money laundering while keeping a low profile. So we went over how to buy a painting that will be worth a lot and how to store it, but how can you help increase its value? Art, like most investments, appreciate over time, but art is also similar to the housing market in a way. Just like house prices are dictated by the prices of the houses sold around it, the value of art pieces are guided by the price of similar art pieces from the same artist. So, an easy way to increase the price of the painting is to bid up the prices of other paintings from the same artist, hence artificially increasing the prices of paintings from that artist. Because auctions allow you to be anonymous when selling the painting, it's even possible to list your own painting for sale, bid up the price, and buy it from yourself, and no one would be suspicious. After all, no one but you knows who is selling the painting, and if you do that, you artificially increase the price of the painting while only having to pay the auction house commission, which can vary from around 5 to 10% depending on the painting. But why does the auction house commission vary? Well, because the two biggest and most important auction houses, Sotheby's and Christie's, compete with each other to be the biggest auction house in the art world, the more expensive, exclusive, and special a painting is, the more the auction houses want to sell it for themselves. Not only because it would result in a massive payout, but they want their auction house written in the newspaper headlines as the auction house that sold that special painting. Therefore, it's likely that they'll negotiate the commission rates down in order to entice you to sell it with them. So, if the plan is to sell a painting at the auction house, generally, the bigger and better the painting, the less percentage commission you'll pay. But what if you don't want to bid up the prices of your own or similar paintings? Are there other ways to increase the value of a painting? Of course! Organizing galleries to showcase paintings from the artist and even the painting you own can bring more attention to the artist, resulting in more demand for works of the artist. The same can be achieved with getting art journals to write articles about the artist, helping them gain more attention and possibly win prizes, which would further increase their recognition in the art world. Now, after a couple of years, after the painting is appreciated, there are a few options for what to do with it. You could either donate it to a museum, sell it at an auction, or use it as an asset to obtain a loan. You're probably thinking, why would you donate a piece of art? Wouldn't that mean you're giving away millions of dollars for nothing in return? Well, that's actually not true. In the US, if you donate a piece of art to a non-profit museum, you get a tax write-off. So if you donate a painting worth $20 million, you wouldn't have to pay taxes on $20 million of income, overall saving you around $8 million in taxes. Of course, you'd need to have a painting valued at $20 million, but given that we're dealing with the art market, it's not difficult to manipulate the valuation. It's possible to manually increase the valuation like discussed before, but it's also possible that the person evaluating the art is a friend, because after all, the art market is a small world. So to paint a clearer picture, someone could buy a painting for $4 million, wait for it to appreciate over a couple of years, and then donate it at a valuation of $20 million to a museum, which means that they would not pay taxes on $20 million of income, saving them around $8 million in taxes. This means they would have bought $8 million of tax savings with a $4 million art investment. The person wins because they saved money, the artist and gallery win because they sold a painting, and the museum wins because they now have a new art piece to display. If you have learned something new and love this type of content, please consider subscribing. It helps out the channel a lot and helps me make more content like this for you. But what if you don't really care about reducing your tax bill and instead are looking to just sell the art to make money? What tricks can you use to always come out on top? I previously mentioned that you can bid your own painting and even drive up the price by buying your own painting, and the only thing that would cost you would be the auction house commission. But other than that, the fact that the painting is being sold in an auction gives it a sense of urgency and scarcity, which would drive up the price even higher. Moreover, auction houses can also arrange a reserve price guarantee. Essentially, if the price in the auction does not surpass the reserve price, someone has already agreed to buy the painting at that reserve price. And if the auction doesn't go past that price, the person who agreed to buy it at the reserve price is given a small percentage of the sale. Overall, these aspects of an auction makes it easy for the seller to benefit from it and minimize the chance of any losses. And on top of that, the auction house also wins from getting a commission of the sale. Now, what about using the art to take out a loan? Since a piece of art can be considered an investment and asset, banks can loan you money based on the value of the art. Similar to donating the art, the piece of art must be given a valuation, and the bank can then loan you money proportional to the valuation. Let's say a piece of art someone bought for $4 million is now valued at $20 million and they need money really quickly. They can ask for a loan and the bank could give them a loan for around, let's say, 70% of the art's value, so $14 million. So for $4 million, and without the person having to sell the painting, they now have access to $14 million. It turns out that art can be a very useful asset. The small and concentrated market means that anyone who has enough money to take part in it can use it for their own benefit, whether that is to reduce taxes, conduct shady business, or simply use it as an investment. The secrecy and exclusivity of the market means that it's difficult to fully understand the many clever ways people can use it for their own benefit, which makes it so intriguing to learn about, and ultimately why it's so useful for the ultra rich. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.